When you begin to think and grow rich, you will observe that riches begin with a state of mind, with definiteness of purpose, with little or no hard work. You, and every other person, ought to be interested in knowing how to acquire that state of mind which will attract riches. Observe very closely, as soon as you master the principles of this philosophy and begin to follow the instructions for applying those principles, your financial status will begin to improve, and everything you touch will begin to transmute itself into an asset for your benefit. Impossible? Not at all. Napoleon Hill from Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill was first published in 1937. It has been called the best-selling success book of all time. The book has sold more than 15 million copies and is known as the granddaddy of all motivational literature. It has influenced almost every great self-help teacher of today. When Hill talks about riches, he means wealth in the widest sense, including material, emotional, spiritual, and all that other stuff. This is one of the harder books to write about because it has so many big ideas. Let's start playing. Smiley face. Impossible. One of the biggest problems with people is that they are used to hearing the word impossible. He is aware of all the rules that won't work. He is aware of everything that can't be done. This book was written for people who want to follow the rules that have helped other people succeed and are willing to put everything on those rules. Impossible. What a phrase. Hill starts the book with a story about a man named Edwin C. Barnes who thought himself into partnership with Thomas Edison. Cool story. Edison could tell something about Barnes' clear, unwavering goal, so he said, "I had learned from years of experience with men that when a man really wants something so much that he is willing to put his whole future on a single turn of the wheel to get it, he is sure to win." How about you? Do you have a burning desire for something in your life that you'd be willing to put your entire future on? The first rule of thinking and growing rich is definiteness of purpose. You have to know what you want. So, what do you want? What is your most important goal in life? Get tantric and burn the ships. A long time ago, a great warrior was put in a situation where he had to make a choice that would guarantee his victory on the battlefield. He was about to send his armies against a powerful foe, whose men outnumbered his own. He loaded his soldiers into boats, sailed to the enemy's country, unloaded soldiers and equipment, then gave the order to burn the ships that had carried them. Before the first battle, he told the men, "You can see the boats going up in smoke. That means we can't leave these shores unless we win. We now have no choice but to win or perish." They were victorious. Every person who wins in any undertaking must be willing to burn his ships and cut all sources of retreat. Only by doing this can one be sure to keep what is known as a burning desire to win, which is a key to success. Thoughts are things. When Henley wrote the prophetic lines, "I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul," he should have told us that we are the masters of our fates and the captains of our souls because we have the power to control our thoughts. He should have told us that our dominant thoughts magnetize our brains, and that these magnets draw to us the forces, people, and situations in life that match the nature of our dominant thoughts. He should have told us, before we can get a lot of money, we have to fill our minds with a strong desire for money. We have to become money conscious until our desire for money drives us to make clear plans for getting it. Faith and dominant thoughts. Every man is what he is because of the dominating thoughts which he permits to occupy his mind. Again, what thoughts do you allow to dominate your consciousness? As Hill says, it is essential for you to encourage the positive emotions as dominating forces of your mind, and discourage and eliminate negative emotions. Self-confidence formula. First, I know I can reach the goal of my clear life purpose. Because of this, I expect myself to work steadily and continuously toward that goal, and I promise to do so right now. Second, I know that the thoughts that dominate my mind will eventually show up in my physical actions and turn into physical reality. Because of this, I will spend 30 minutes a day thinking about the person I want to be, which will give me a clear mental picture of that person. Let's be clear by recognizing the fact that before the first in this self-confidence formula, you must know your major definite purpose. Did you fill your major definite purpose in above? If so, Cool. If not, what are you waiting for? Even if you don't know exactly what you want, write down something, anything. And think about it until it really speaks to you and makes you want it more. In fact, at that point, figuring out what your clear purpose is might be the most important thing you can do. That is a huge step forward. Get a burning desire to really figure out what you're here to do, refuse to see failure as an option, and take consistent action toward your goal, and voila! The outcomes will surprise you. Okay. So, you have a clear purpose. Now, demand of yourself persistent, continuous action toward its attainment and promise to take such action. And since your dominant thoughts will become your reality, why not spend 30 minutes picturing yourself as you want to be? A powerful way to boost your confidence. First plan fail? Try another. If the first plan you try doesn't work, try another. If that one doesn't work, try another, and so on, until you find one that does. The majority of men fail at this point because they give up on making new plans to replace the ones that don't work. Hill discusses the significance of organized planning after you have figured out your purpose, realized that thoughts are things, and realized how important your faith is. Just keep trying new plans and don't let doubt take root. Winston Churchill said, "Success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm." The 31 major causes of failure. Success requires no explanations. Failure permits no alibis. Hill has many good lists, from the causes of failure to the causes of fear and others. What are some of the main reasons why people fail? Lack of a clear life goal. Lack of desire to do better than average. Lack of self-control. Lack of concentration of effort. Lack of enthusiasm. Inability to cooperate with others. How do you compare and where can you improve? Power of the mastermind. Tony Robbins shares the wisdom of his mentor, Jim Rohn, in an even more powerful way. He says, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Men take on the nature and the habits and the power of thought of those with whom they associate in a spirit of sympathy and harmony. Consider that. Write down a list of the 5 people you spend the most time with and do the math. If you spend a lot of time with people who don't have as much drive as you do, you'll lose your own drive. Spend time with people who are more motivated than you, and you'll improve. Strong stuff. So, get your average up. Ahem. And keep this in mind as you choose your friends. Without a doubt, the most common weakness of all human beings is the habit of leaving their minds open to the negative influence of other people. Persistence. The majority of people are ready to throw their aims and purposes overboard and give up at the first sign of opposition or misfortune. Some people keep going no matter what, until they reach their goal. The word perseverance may not have a heroic connotation, but it is as important to a person's character as carbon is to steel. I don't know much about steel, but the last time I checked, if you took the carbon out of steel, you wouldn't have steel. Same with persistence. You remove persistence from your character and you've lost any and all hope of living with material, spiritual, emotional riches. Period. And, know this, according to Hill, the ease with which lack of persistence may be conquered will depend entirely upon the intensity of one's desire. You might want to read that again. Lack of tenacity? That's entirely because your desire is weak. You want to increase your persistence, so start by developing a burning desire. Hill says, desire is the foundation of all success. Keep this in mind at all times. Weak desires bring weak results, just as a small amount of fire makes a small amount of heat. Build a stronger fire under your desires if you find yourself lacking in persistence. Before we continue, here in this channel we provide you with animated summaries of the best books to help you improve your life and achieve your personal goals. If you are interested, consider subscribing and liking the video.